Uh, anyway, as we continue our
So
look through High Rock,
we are starting here in the Tolburn Woods in the Kingdom of Farron.
which is some of the lowlands of the High Rock area, especially as compared to the other portion of 3K, Johanna. And we can see here some of our wonderful Breton castle set.
Yeah, you'll be finding castles like this dotting really the entirety of High Rock, standing as a good testament to the ingenuity and construction of the Bretons.
And right now we've gotten attacked by some worm mouths, one of the many beasts that are going to be inhabiting the forests of Faron and the rest of eastern High Rock.
If you've played Shadowkey, you should be remembering these guys.
Yeah, slightly less polygonal than they were on the N gauge.
Some of the more astute of you might have noticed that they currently sound like wolves. Uh, Trust me, we're going to be giving them proper sound effects later on.
Yes, there's also no music currently going because we're still getting music set up in this area.
There's a lot to show, but there's very much a lot to still do.
Oh, of course. I'm also going to go ahead and pick up
We have
this
another,
winter
yeah, we have a
chanterelle.
few more of the harvestables you find. There's winter chanterelle and there's holly bushes.
More black rose dotted around. Oh,
And here's a bandit coming to stop us on the road.
one of the many that infest especially the Farron area. And with the orcish history of the area, quite a few of the orcs have turned to banditry due to just not being very well accepted amongst the local Farron people. I mean, the place was once a orcish stronghold, and that really hasn't endeared them very well to the Bretons now living in the area. Let's take a look at this guy's armor, though, now that we have it. Some of our lovely lower
Is,
class leather armor.
yes, this is the leather armor which you'll be getting in High Rock.
Yes. As well as a steel war axe.
We're just going to continue down the forest path for a bit here.
Yes, the Farron Woods have a lot of these winding paths throughout many levels. You can see just the sheer amount of elevation going on.
I'm going to take this time to answer a couple of the questions that we've seen.
Please do.
Um, Umbra has asked us if Wayrest is the largest settlement of High Rock or is it Daggerfall? The answer is Daggerfall.
Mm-hmm.
Daggerfall is the biggest city in High Rock. Goat Unicorn asks if we'll be able to find Orsinium in Iliac Bay. Yes, Orsinium will be in Hammerfell.
Yes, we will. And it will be fourth of Orsinium, so not one that we have seen before in any of the games.
Polgado asks, will the events of Daggerfall be mentioned in the mod? Yes, they very much will.
Absolutely. As well as the events of Shadowkey, we are referencing quite highly. And Redguard. There's been many games in the Iliac Bay area, and we're taking a lot of inspiration from many of them.
Yeah, The Iliac Bay is fairly well represented, but a lot of it is quite new to see.
Hmm.
We've seen bits and pieces, but we're hoping with Beyond Skyrim to show you the full Monty, as it were.
Yeah, it hasn't quite been represented in one complete package yet. Let's go a little bit off the beaten path here and take a look at what's around.
Check out this smaller forest path.
You can see the great variety of just brush and undergrowth throughout all of the Farron forests.
Yeah, the forests of Faron are quite thick and quite dense, and depending on the weather, a little bit spooky, a little bit moody.
It can be. You can see a little bit of fog rolling in.
This is probably one of the rare, clear, sunny days you'll get in Faron. For the most part, it's rain and fog and storms.
And you can see we're approaching a standing stone now. We don't have a unique model for those, but we do plan to include equivalent effects to these standing stones in Iliac Bay.
You can see here the Dunlane tundra, which makes up a good section of Faron, and just up to the right you can see the Raven Fells, another section of southern Faron.
And even further up to the left here are the beginnings of Johanna Kingdom, a much snowier area that sort of lords above the rest of Farron, which is reflected in their sort of political dealings as well. Johanna is
Yeah.
a city of artists, sort of looking down on Farron as a sort of rough and tumble city of sailors and thieves.
Yes. Faron is very much a kingdom with, three histories that sort of converge into a very austere and sorrowful city.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. It was once ruled over by the Durrani hegemony, which was a, brutal dictatorship which enslaved a whole bunch of, most of the Bretons in the area, until they were ousted in the First Era, and then it briefly became an Orcish stronghold, and now it is a Breton-held kingdom, ostensibly within the ranks of any other.
While we make our way back to the road, I'm going to ask a couple more questions that we have.
Mm-hmm.
Dragon Riker asks, will the ruins of the past three Orsiniums be featured? Yes, yes they will. First Orsinium, probably not, but we do have plans for the ruins of second and third Orsinium.
It has been a long, long time since First Orsinium. And the Bretons are not people to leave, ruins standing for simple posterity purposes.
Asks, will Iliac Bay add new Orcish armors and weapons? We can't promise anything on that front yet, but the plan is very much to make some new ones by the time we get to Orsinium.
We've had some very interesting concepts thrown around. Nothing I want to get specific about yet, but I think people looking
here we can see the headland or peninsula where we just were at the Standing Stone to give you a good idea of scale.
And one of the many wonderful vistas that you're going to be able to see throughout High Rock. Really is a picturesque area.
Somebody asks if the LOD is still WIP, I see. Yes. LOD it's updated really every couple of weeks.
And as much level design as we have gotten done, there are still plenty of pieces left to do.
Yeah.
Right now we're moving into Dunlane, a small Bredic village. Which many Skyrim players will know due to the Augur of Dunlane, which is reflective of the village's long history in divination and mysticism. And you can see some of the various clutter that we have. Some wooden cups, jugs. All just small pieces that help bring High Rock to life.
Yeah. Dunlane is a very typical sort of, tiny farming hamlet. There'll be many villages just like this throughout the province.
Oh, you can see that fog really has started to roll in.
Yeah,
We're getting a little more...
the weather has started to get worse.
This is more typical of what you would see around most of the Farrun region. Oh, and speaking of typical...
Here is a wereball. You'll be seeing quite a few of these.
Yeah, they are a known nuisance to much of the people of High Rock. And by nuisance, I mean very deadly.
Yeah, they are a bit of a problem in High Rock, just as werewolves are in Skyrim. Right, we are slowly approaching the Ravenfells, which are notably craggier and a bit more forested than the open Dunlane tundra.
You can see the very apparent elevation going on. I mean, High Rock is named so for a good reason.
And we are fast approaching one of the smaller Breton crypts and the town of Carthgran.
Yes, one of the walled towns of High Rock that you'll see dotted throughout the landscape.
We aren't going to be showing you Carthgran today, but we are going to be showing you the graveyard.
Mm-hmm. Burial rites are very important to the Bredic people, and it's something that we've put a lot of care and detail into. Let's go ahead and take a look inside. It's a little dark, though.
These ruins can get yeah. Let's use a bit of candlelight to help, light the place up a little.
There you go. And now you can see the wonderful detailing on this set.
Breton crypts just like this something you'll be delving into quite regularly. Just like the Nordic ruins in Skyrim, or the Iliad ruins in Cyrodiil.
And they're not without their share of dangers, including these wights, which have been risen from the Bredic graves. Well, much against their normal burial rites, as Bretons really don't like their corpses being meddled with.
No. we should take a look at some of the unique weapons that they're holding.
Absolutely. You can see some of this ancient Breton styling on this war axe, and I believe there's a sword as well. There it is. Reminiscent of the, very rich style that you would see in modern Bretons, but definitely a bit more archaic. Take a look at some other parts of this absolutely lovely set.
These crypts are a good sort of window into the ancient High Rock.
Looks like we're getting into a bit of a larger chamber. I'm gonna make myself ready. And these whites are not without their champions, as you can see from this white king.
Yes, these crypts were really to hold people of any level of importance in High Rock, including the ancient kings.
Yes, the Dureni originally mandated all Bretons to be cremated, and once they lost power, most Bretons went back to their Nedic traditions of, protecting their dead against necromancy and burying every one of them. Oh, and this king has a very nice greatsword on him. Let's go ahead and take that.
That he does.
Very nice. And while we don't have a unique chest for these ruins yet, we do have a couple of bits of interesting loot for them, including a new spell and a very nice steel mace. And I think we're about done here. Wouldn't you say?
I'd say so. Let's take one last little look at the grandiose halls of the Breton crypts.
We've had a lot done in the past little bit, in the past year, Iliac Bay, but we've still got a lot more to do. And if you're interested in joining us, Iliac Bay is looking for new writers, 3D artists, level designers, and implementers.